You seem to be back. We're going. Right. Welcome back, guys. Just booted off for a minute there. Alright, so let's do what we do. So let's come on. So back to the image, right? So we're gonna just hit Control and J, right? Twice, because then I'm going in with the what do we call it? Filters liquify. Right? And this helps me adjust things. Just like I go past us a little bit. It's a bit too much. That's good enough. And, use the blue tool. So I use that on the body itself. It's like plastic surgery. Side is nice and rosy, so you just look on the next side, and then we use the pucker tool. So it just pulls in. That's a little too much there. Just pull in. Can't do any big set I want. Now we're gonna use the liquify, and I want to just elaborate on the hair. So we're looking good there. We could go back on the face and the lips. Alright, that's a bit too much. Nice. The nose. And that's all. Nothing too overly on the top there, so could use the so it's much more full on both sides. So this is before and this is after. Before and after. Alright, so now we could use a new layer, and I will go in with the clone stamp tool and we'll get in there. So we want to target the areas of the face here. So what I want to do too is just open our levels and just drop the light, so a little more on the dark side, so I'm able to see better what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna take this brush here and start to clean up this face. Just removing all the buttons, taking my time. Just editing through. Don't want to remove all the pores. Some of the big ones could be classified as buttons. Alright. And we can make this smaller. So if you take off the arrow, as the places we clean up, feel I have to do it without this, so let's just go with a layer. I shall put it on top first, but anyways. So, right, so now I can see that I don't have any more marks. Photoshop has changed up a lot, so some more methods may have to be re-engineered. It's small, no biggie. I'm just gonna clean up the face here. And some, you know, large pores that need some work. Also like the eyelash area. We could more than clean this up here. And the eyebrow. That looks good to me. Clean at the bottom here. Also on this side here. That's more like it. And we're cleaning, we're going on this cleaning. There's some huge pores everywhere. Zoomed in by the cheek there. This one is pretty big. Alright. We'll do the teeth and stuff just a minute. And we're going right here. So I want to handle like just the pores right now. That imperfection first. And we're editing here, guys. Just cleaning up. Some bigger ones. Anytime I go live, I get hungry. I don't know what that is. And the teeth now, what I'll do is use saturation. And we want to see like the yellows. And let's captivate. So now can I compensate teeth? So I then control an eye, then 0. I'm gonna carry this down. I'll control an eye as well. So I carry this down now. And bring this white up here. Hit control and I use the brush tool, press B for the brush tool, and then we just zoom in here, press an X, and we're gonna clean. So as you can see, it is clearing up on, and just clearing up the teeth there. So that's it. So like before and after, we could adjust the colors after, like how much blue there is in it to make it as realistic as possible. Alright, so let's just say before and after, before and after. Now what we could do is this is the white part, right? could whiten that. You could just clean it for now. And what I'm gonna do is like take off the marks. So I'm gonna switch the mode to lighten on the brush. And I could bring down the opacity of this. So that's better. So it doesn't look completely invisible. Alright. So before and after. So we could just class these two now. Let's go into the eyes, you know, and we use enlighten to kind of clean up the eyelashes that might be coming down into the eyes. Alright, so you see 4 and eyes after. We'll do the next one too. Any little veins and stuff we will be removing. Nice. Now, what I'd like to do though is open our next layer, then do some dodge and wheel. So fill this layer with gray. Fill. %50 gray. Let's go. Overlay, and then we do some dodge and wheel right here. I'm gonna do it with the balloon, so I'm gonna just like highlight this part of the eyes. Just around here ever so slightly. And voila, before and after. Alright, and just touch it up a little bit inside here. So that's your 4 and after. So a little bit out here again. So if you watch your 2 eyes now, you can compare. Nice. And I'll go on the next one. Do the same thing, so we burn in on the outside and then partially on the inside. All underneath by these eyelashes here. And then we're gonna lighten the brown part. Slightly. Then we're gonna do color in it, colorize, pin that, control and I, zoom back in. There we go with the brush tool, right? We're gonna do now is paint brown on this side and brown on this side. Alright. As her eyes are brown, so this gonna go down to like change this. Supposed to be like 27. Actually, should just be like nice. Now we could bring it down to like about 65. Or we could try like 45. So we got some this is eyes. This already gorgeous fit, can't wait. Well, yes, it looks like a gorgeous fit, but this is the original, so I'm gonna open the original for you. So let me sing a bit louder. Now seeing it there. All right. So this is the original here. There's the before and there's the after. You know what? Let me move this to the side one time. All right. This was what we was working with in Lightroom. So yeah. So this one now we could BG. Alright, nice. Let's hit B for the brush tool. So let's hit Control or Shift E and we'll do a comparison, right? So let's switch up all of these before and after. Before and after. All right, so now I'm seeing a little spot here where we could fix this. All right, and I might have to switch this to normal. We do have long again here, guys. What I could also do too is change this to lighten and put this on a separate layer. So we're gonna handle all the like the little hairs here that are a little more potent than usual. With a small brush. Nice. So if you check before and after, there's a huge difference. Like clean up this here now. We could bring down the opacity always and just like say like 85. We could rock with 85. Or we could go like full 100 and do the skin replacement after. Right, so it looks a little jagged. That's alright. So we go in and hit Control Alt Shift E for everything, Control and J again. One more time. Put these two in a group, Control and G Then we opening these here now, and I'm putting one as alright, we gotta create a keyboard shortcut. So filters, blue, Gaussian blue, Control and plus. Okay, so now when we hit Control and plus, we could just get a shortcut to do our frequency separation. And the next one is image, apply image to the number 9, and we're going into subtract, and that looks good to me. Then we hit in linear light, and here we go, press enter, and we are on L for the lasso tool, and let's head in here now. So what we want to do there is different shades of light, and we want to kind of merge all of them. All right, so let's do a little one here, Control and the plus sign. We are going to do some frequency separation, so let's hit 14. All right, as you can zoom out and see how that does, and that looks pretty good off the bat, like before and after. So it gives that nice merge, you know. All right, Control and blur. All right, yeah, sorry about that. Right, and hit OK. Zoom back out to always check it. All right, and we hit the L for the lasso tool, and we come down here. Control plus. All right, zoom out. I want that a little more, so I'm in 21. Nice. So more or less you can see a more balance for it, so that a line that may be from a hat or something, this was from a party. So a lot, this frequency separation cleared up a lot of our skin. All right, and we could go, so I'm thinking, so let's go right under the eyelid here, this area here, Control and plus. Oh, 21 does it great. And then we don't want to remove too much of the bags, because in contrast, when the muscle contracts, you get the smile impression, you know. So before and after, that is good enough. We could do this big area here, and we could do all of this in one, as a matter of fact. All right, Control and plus. Now that might be a little too much, so let's hit it like about 14. Before and after, before and after. So let's watch it. So it now the picture feels a lot more cleaner. All right. Control and plus. Yeah. So what we're gonna do now, remember we just cleaning up this area here, so we're gonna handle here. It looked a bit troublesome, but I kid you not, it's very easy to handle. So we hit in Control and plus, and we heading out, and we could do like 21. So now it's vanished completely. So if you switch over from before and after, or if you have it right there, before and after. Nice. I blew out the neck a lot, So let's see what I'll get from here. Nice. And there's already a lot of highlights. Just gonna do this area here. It doesn't have to be 21. 21 is a bit too much for that area. We will do the nose and see what it gives. All right, so before and after. Now we're going in just right here. Now we just want to be careful, so we're doing the center here and the shape of this here. Now control plus, you can get like a 21 here. All right, and that clears up a whole lot of skin impurities and those stuff, right? Now coming down here, you can just rub it on the edge, come up, go around, same thing. Gives the skin that nice skin smooth finish, eliminating some of those harsh shadows too. All right, control plus. And this is before and this is after. Right now we're going to buy the bosom area, so this, we don't want to overdo it, so let's see what we can do here now. Control plus, I think 21 is too much, so let's do 14. All right, that's better. Yeah, and we have this little section here, so control and plus. All right, so we have cleaned up majority of this photo. All right, what I would like to do though is like with a soft brush and a opacity with like 10, I would like to kind of, this dark area here, we could clean that up. All right, so let me see how this is. This is very dark, so I could use like here and just ever so slightly. Alright, that is like 3 brush strokes. Yeah, it doesn't have to be that harsh, you know? It could be the shadows around and stuff, right? So let's go to the forehead here, and I'm noticing this is gray, but we wanted this color. That is gray, that is dark gray. So we want like maybe a tone like this, and I'm gonna pass it around here. All right, and we're gonna do it on the corner here ever so slightly, so it's like, you know, those gray areas are not supposed to be gray, you know. So before and after. All right, we could neaten it up by putting a mask, control, switching to X and just minus it. Now that is very important that you notice that adding bright colors will make something look bigger, so the forehead looks a little bit expanded on the side. All right, so what I'll do, I'll copy this, control and J. So the copy now, that looks excellent, but I want to hit like 30 and go in the side here to just tone that down. All right, nice. So it control Alt Shift E. This is a better picture on the whole now. So before and after. Before and after. Let's do some dodge and burn curves. So this is where we bring back a lot of the detail. And we could do a lot with the colors. So wow. Okay. Right, so this is burn and this is dodge, but I wanted the next way. So let's see. X, right, that is that, right? So now I want to take off this one and leave on this one. So you see the difference, right? But what I want to see is the darks. So I'm gonna polish this up now. Anyways, I've seen it already, so you know what, let me work on adding the darks to the nose bridge here. That looks superb. Nice. And I could come back to the burn and I'm adding some to the forehead to close off that, you know, I don't want it too bright. Right? And we want to contour right around here and right around here. Right? We want to add back some details in the lines here, smile lines, right? So before and after, before and after. You just put like a layer on the eyelashes. Nice. For burn, you can just improve the teeth if you want, but I choose not to. So let's get in here. So dodge, I'll just make this brush smaller and really get in highlighting the eyes here, right? And with dodge, I could brighten this eye color here. So it's a mix of light and darks. All right. So we add in some detail here. Now we're gonna do the bottom here to add the image of more eyeshadow. So we're gonna have the opacity at 30 and just darken here, and also darken the stretch here. So this is supposed to be darker, you understand? So now with the eye brush, the eyelids, it come like we're using eyeliner. And it fills out the eyebrows, the eyelashes more. So before and after. Sometimes the light in the environment may make your image look like if the eyelashes weren't as defined, but they were. You know, when you go and buy eyelashes, it's black. You know, so I could do it like that. Just bring it down ever so slightly. What you could do too is just darken, yeah. And then darken the outside, yeah. Nice. So that gives you that more full eyelash look. So let's go. So it's before and after, before and after. So I still think I could do some darkening on the face a little bit more. So I'm just gonna darken this spot here, on top here, on top here, coming down here. Could also do some of the neck. We could lighten like the throat. and just highlight this area here and bring this spot here. Darken corners here and darken corners here. So we could highlight the arm. This area here. It's like 30 and see what's going on. That's a bit too much, so I'll do it like 10, 10, 10. That's better. It's coming down here. Nice. So before and after, before and after. Now we could focus more on the lip area, so we could add some glaze it just a little bit, you know. That's just a bit too much for me, for my preference, you know. So that's at 0 and X, so we could get rid of that. Right, so let's hit X now, and then we're doing 10, 1, and then 1. I want to highlight like some of these areas that have a little light on it. Right. Also, I have this part of the eye here that's supposed to be bright. Nice. I'll use 10 and come right in the corners here. So that's before and after. Before and after. I want this area a little brighter. Before and after. And I have to do the same for the next side. Alright. So there we go. Nice. Now I wanna use some dodge on the lips. Alright. Ever so slightly. Then we're using some highlights right here. Could zoom out and we would see like how it looks. But this is how it will look on social media. I wanna hit burn like 30 on the hair. Normally as add more highlight. There's a bit too much, because we had to raise the highlight. No, so before and after. Nice. That looks good to me. So we could do now, we could get into coloring. So there's Control Shift Alt and E. Is before and after. Take out this one, before and after, before and after. Now let's go to selective color. And what we're gonna do is add some reds. Let's see what's going on here. So you see the whole back come out. So let's go. The skin tone is what I'm focusing on. So I filled all the shadows there with the reds. Right? The magentas, we could just do like a slight amount. So it's before and after. Then we could go to yellows. And we hit it somewhere there. And then the magenta. Alright, so Enter. That's more like it. So let's do another selective color. And I'm going right in with the blues. So I'm gonna just enhance the top and a makeup. And yeah. So it makes the clothing look ever so much better. Nice. We have some cyans there. Could do that. But that, okay, so I would not do the cyans because it will interfere with the dress, right? So I'm doing like the Alright, let me do the general picture. So I'm going in with the whites and let's do, ooh, nice, but that's a bit too much, so let's put it right there. So let's see, before and after. We don't want too much yellows, just a tad bit. And then let's do the neutrals. So the neutrals could really impact how the image, how we want the image to look. So +3. Oh wow, it balance off a lot. And then the yellows now, I don't want it in the blues, so it gives it a more realistic look on this side. And then we add it some darks, so that nature looks really awesome. That kind of like color tone, everything. And now let's go to the black. Hi Shrees, much better audio wise. Yeah, I guess so. All right, so and then we go from, right, so that is not what we want. But if we go down to the greens, so I will go to the greens. I need to minus some of that blue, and there you go, that blue. So let's take some off. I might have to do over the black. So is it have reds? Let me just do a general one here now. I'll take out the greens. Nice. So before and after, before and after. Now before and after, I want to go with hue saturation, and I'm gonna select the blues, and I'm gonna like, so I'm gonna take some of those blues out of here, right? So I'm gonna hit Control and I, and I'm gonna paint 100% and take some of the blues out of here. So it gives it that more natural look. Because, you know, your hair don't be blue, you know, glowing blue. Understand? So before and after, and I could always drop it to like about 65. So it's like not too much. As a matter of fact, 85 is better. 85. I want to put some white in here now. X. And we'll just come like a shampoo in here. and you bring this down, right? So before and after. So now we need to create our mask. Control and I, and I'm gonna paint on areas I want that white to show up, which will be this side here and this side here. I don't want it anywhere else really, because it adds a huge level of sharpness, right? And that's looking good to me. Control Shift Alt E, and let me group all these here. As a matter of fact, group all these. And this is the original, so before and after. Before and after. Alright. And let's check the levels. Okay, it's not bad. What we could do is a color balance. So the shadows, I would like the shadows to have some blue in it, so but not that much. Alright, so just a tad bit of science, and we could add some magenta, so it gives that, right? Then the mid, oh no, that's the midtones. So let me go back to shadows. Alright, so shadows, yeah. Right, it gets rid of that nasty green. And midtones, we want some skin tone colors. And we could even get rid of some of more of that green. And then the highlights, you could take some of that cyan. Oh no. Okay, so the face is in the highlight then. So what I'm gonna do is highlight a little sun kiss kind of feel. So that kind of balance up the color. Right. So let's hit selective color. I wanted to do something with these lights here, make it much stronger. It's affecting the dress and I can see that, and we don't want that, right? So hit Control and I, and then with the brush tool at 100%, right? And also we could hit like space it over and see what blend mode we could do good with. Well, there's too much. What we could do is just break it down like here. Or delete this. Just take that color there. Just put it on top there, alright, and then just could add that. It's too whitey for me, so I just hit like overlay, and we have like alright, and put on a mask and hit like 30 and X and just take it over. Understand? So before and after, we could tune this song to like about 65. Right? And guys, I think that is it for this one. That is it for this one. I'm just gonna put my logo if I could find it quickly. That's my logo, man. Man. That's my logo. Alright, so I switched computers the other day, so oh man. I gotta go on a man hunt for my logo. Wow, okay. Alright. No logo. No logo. Anyways, guys, let's do our crop though. Control Shift Alt E, and let's do our crop. 5 tab 4. Okay, so 4 tab 5. Alright, so let's see now. That will cut out like majority of the picture. So I want the lights in the picture. And then I'll put like a white background or black background. And then that'll be it for this one. It's already 6 o'clock. Wow, that was some time past, eh? All right, so let's go on the bottom layer, get the bucket D, X, and hit that like that. So white gives it like a nice clean finish. So let's export this. All right, guys, so we're wrapping up here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I have been taking some time to focus on my health, therapy, gym, diet. It's important because with all those things I can't function and do what I have to do. So, you know, we have to focus on what is important, you know, and do that. All right, so let me just get some quick access. 2026 edited. Let me just put PS caps lock PS. And that's it, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like,